Hi, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Eli.
And we are the YHWH and the Torah channel, and we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. We thank you very, very much for reading with us today. And we are deep into a very amazing book that you will get an amazing an account of our Messiah's walk, an amazing account of extra things that we have never, ever heard before. And I am so blown away with this book and the understanding of it. And a lot of this is, a lot of what we're reading here is self-reflection for me in the mirror. And every time that I see these verses, I'm like, wow, I really need to change things, or things, I'm not doing things right. And so what we're getting from this is a lot of self-reflection and understanding of this stuff. So hang tight real quick as my dogs do what they're doing. All right, so we will continue to try to do this. And again, for those who do not know, we have 10 pit bulls, and they are uncaged, unkennelled, and they live with us as humans do. And so every breaking moment of the day and things of this nature, we're dealing with the dogs. And right now we're dealing with the dogs. They're like trying to jump out the window or something. And so here we are. Miss Nicole is closing the window so the dogs don't jump out the window. So let us begin right here. Okay, and so yesterday, I want to the last one that we did yesterday, because I thought it was simply amazing, and I think we need to read this and understand this. This is what Messiah said. These are all the words of Messiah. I come to build a new temple, and if you say these are good teachings and take them to your heart, but tomorrow revile your neighbor and deceive your kinsman, you are an unstable brick. If the temple be built with such material, surely it will collapse, and those within will perish. Is it not better if it were never built? If you say, but I am weak, then examine your defects and take the first step to stability. But examination is a waste of time unless leading to rectification. Okay, and just like always, we're really dealing with these dogs here. And it's like Hasatan really wants to give us a disturbance in the force. So this is one of these things that I had to look at myself with, and I guess everyone. You know, it is easy to self-examine us, and it is easy to fall into apathy, and it is easy to go, well, we're sick, I'm sick, I can't do it anymore, I'm too weak. But then you have to examine and understand why it is that you're having these issues, or the self-examination part of it, and we need to rectify the problem. If we have these defects that make us weak, then let's fix these. And we will never know how weak we are unless we use the Torah, which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, as our litmus test, as our guide. 33. I call you to serve no mean cause, but to stand beside me and claim your inheritance. Those who dispute the claim are the ones I reject, and you must set your faces against them, even as I do. Come and inherit the incorruptible glory which is in heaven, even as flesh is on earth. The way is narrow and difficult, for no one who has not been tempted and tried can attain his reward. Now, Kate, are you following along or are you listening?
I was just listening.
Okay, so this is very important. I really like your input on this, Kate, so if you can, I don't have many people here, so if you can help me out with this, I would appreciate it. This is very, very, these are hard things to understand. Right? What it says right here in this verse is that if we have not been tempted, we cannot attain his reward. If we have not been tried in fire, then when we are tried in fire, will we collapse? That is the point of testing. That is the point of tempting. If our Creator gave us an easy to walk through life and everyone could achieve this with absolutely no problem whatsoever, then what reward would it be? The way of our Creator is a completely different path. Our way, our attitude, our talk, our speak, our hearts, our hands, our everything is different, and it has to be different. 34. He that is near me is close to a blazing fire and may get burned, but he who withdraws from the heat withdraws from heaven. Some have said, the yoke of the Torah sits heavy on our shoulders. But I tell you, I come not to lighten, but to magnify the responsibility. Moshe brought the Torah, which says not to kill. But I say, any who releases anger on his brother without just cause shall not escape judgment. Okay, I don't have a lot of real world examples that I can do, but there is it says right here, anyone who releases anger on his brother without cause. Now, us here in this house, Eli, who are your brothers?
Everyone.
Everyone who keeps the Torah.
Everyone who keeps the Torah. In this particular house right here, who are your brothers?
Jaden and Caden.
Jaden and Caden, right. And so this is what the words of our Messiah says right here. He says that anyone who releases anger on his brother without just cause shall not escape judgment. Now, what do you think that looks like here in this house, Cade?
That would look like fighting. That would look like anger.
Yeah, and because of the world that we live in here, and I know there's a lot of you guys out there that you guys don't live in the same situation as us. We have a house with 1 female and 4 males, and the ages of the males are from 16 to 40, what am I, 46? 46. And there is a lot of brotherly stuff in this house, right? Things that me as an only child, I don't understand and I really can't relate to. Things that I would look at if my brother did to me, I would probably snap their twig heads or something of the nature. I just don't understand. And as an only child, I guess I've either been blessed by not having to be having the brotherly love of the so-called family. But that's just the way of families. Now, as we talk about this, I think it's very important that we all understand that our brother, and like Eli said, our brothers are anybody who keeps the Torah, and we need to love everybody. And even those who are not keeping the Torah, they have a potential that they may keep the Torah. And so we have family all around us that may not be family yet. But if we are evil to them, or we don't shine the light, or we don't bring them to the Torah, then there's no way they would ever come into the Torah. And so if we are... what it says is anyone who releases anger on his brother without just cause shall not escape judgment. Jade, you with me on this?
Yeah, where are we?
We are on 934 right now. Okay, so we don't release judgment on brothers, right? And it says if you guys do, then you will be in judgment, Mr. Eli and Mr. Cade, Mr. Jade. 35. The Torah you have condemns adultery, but I tell you that if any man looks upon a woman with fornication in mind, he is no less guilty, for it is what a man thinks that will lead him to glory or decay. He who is pure in love does not defile his heart by looking at another woman with fornication in view. And this is what I've been for years and years and years and years. I preach against pornography. Not even preach, I teach, I yell, I scream. I tell you guys that you guys will have your eyes violated, your soul will be violated, your hearts will be violated, you commit adultery, you do things that you will never ever be able to understand that you are doing, and it is a 1 second of gratification, and you will live with the crimes forever. It only takes one time. It only takes one time that you go on the internet and open up one of these filthy, filthy sites that pollute 70% of the internet. It is that easy. And if you want to break the heart of your spouse, then go ahead and do this. If you want to destroy everything that you have, if you want to break the bond that we are supposed to have, then go into this vile world. And it talks right here. What a man thinks will lead him to glory or decay. How do we find glory? Where's glory at?
That'd be the Torah, or that'd be in the Shamayim.
Yeah, Shamayim, yeah.
When we get Judgment Day.
Yeah, and we won't know what glory is. That's our dog talking. We won't know what glory is if we don't make it there. Okay, 36. The Torah you have says, no man shall put his wife away unless he gives her a bill of divorcement. But I tell you that whoever seeks to put his wife away, except for adultery, or she is found unchaste, places her on the path of adultery, and is therefore not guiltless. What Yahuwah has blended in ruach, let no man seek to sever. But those joined in body and not in ruach are not sanctified. Okay, this is one of these things, more of marriage talk, right?
I think this is like close to saying a match made in heaven, right? Yahuwah put two people together for a reason, and if you end up being an adulterer, or you end up putting them away for no reason, divorcing them for no reason, you say you are breaking what Yahuwah has put together. Yeah,
absolutely. And you're not just breaking a worldly bond, but you're breaking a spiritual, right? And that is what it is talking about. Messiah talks about what marriage is. Marriage is a bonding of spirits. It's a bonding of different people's souls. And so it's not just a physical thing that you have within marriage. It is the bonding that you will have that is supposed to last forever. It's more than a little judge at a courthouse gives you a piece of paper, right? The real marriage is a bond of a commitment. It has nothing to do with man-mades, you are married or you are not married. It is the real commitment in the eyes of our Creator. 37. The Torah you have says, you shall not swear falsely or break an oath. Though, if you vow something to the service of Yahuwah, the pledge must be kept. I tell you, never to swear an oath, but confine yourself to a straightforward yes or no. It is needless to say more. For the word of a godly man is more binding than the most solemn oath sworn by another. If you are not a godly man, then doubtless your word and oath would be worthless anyway. Where have we heard all of this before? Sounds like something I've heard.
It sounds like Proverbs. This is stuff we heard from Yahushua before.
Yeah, he said all this before, right? Don't say yay, yay, nay, nay is how we do it, right? 38. If your eye give cause for complaint, leading you towards lewdness or obscenity, pluck it out.
What's obscenity?
Swearing, bad words, bad talk, bad speak, evil speak, things of that are unholy, unpleasing to our Creator. If that is the case, pluck it out. It is of greater advantage to suffer disfigurement on earth than to be cast into the depths to suffer it there. If your right hand give cause for complaint, cut it off. For if your body be maimed on earth, you bear it a little time, but surely do nothing to prevent it remaining intact in the place of glory. All right. Oh, wow. We learned something that we have never, ever heard before, that we did not know. This was a piece. Did anyone get this?
Yeah, basically we get our body parts back.
We get our body parts back. Yeah, so if you are maimed, if you are broken, if you have one eye, if you have one arm, if you have one leg, if you have been crippled, if you are not completely made whole, I believe in the Shamayim, we will be made whole, right? Very, very important. And it is such importance that if you guys have a pornography problem, I encourage you guys to get rid of your computer. I encourage you guys to turn off the internet. I encourage you guys to do whatever it is to keep your soul alive. It is about the fighting of our soul that matters. It is not about these worldly conditions. We have to abolish these worldly conditions and we have to save our soul at every cost possible. 39. The Torah you have says, love your neighbors and hate your enemies. But I tell you to love your enemies, but do good to those who hate you and pray for those who deceive or persecute you. For if you only give love for love, this cannot be claimed as a meritorious thing, when even criminals return the love of those who love them. If you only repay good with good, dealing fairly only with those who treat you likewise, how can merit be claimed for this, which is no more than criminals do? It is the same if you give only to those who give to you, for criminals give to their own kind. Can you stand by and let it be said that criminals treat each other better than do godly men?
We've heard that before. We've heard you talk about this before and how you should do good to those who are doing bad to you because that is worth more than being able to forgive, being able to look past the evil that is being done to you in return for trying to save a soul.
Yeah, and we absolutely have a huge list of people that we pray for that absolutely hate our guts, that would love to see us burning, dead. We from YouTube to locally, the people we have offended because of the word of our Creator and the things that we do, it just makes people very upset. And so we pray for our enemies. And, if we didn't have advice like this, I would absolutely not pray for my enemies. I would hopefully they're gone. But that is not what we are to do. In fact, that is what the Torah is about, right? And that is what Messiah was about. If he only loved those who loved him, then the Messiah wouldn't be what the Messiah was. Messiah loved everybody, and he even to the Judas kiss, he allowed the Judas kiss to happen. Okay, 40. Love your enemies, but not their faults. Love those who hate you, but concede nothing to their wickedness. Give without expectation of return. Then only can you lay claim to goodness and be called a servant of Yahuwah. I have not come to abolish the Torah or to change the teachings of the prophets, but to complete them, adding any necessary clarification and interpreting them to the understanding of men. But the time has come to ask, when will they be put into practice? When will men bring Yahuwah out of the temple and make him a participant in their daily lives? When will men carry things in their hearts and stop paying them lip service? Wow. Whoa. Wow. What do we make of this, boys?
Well, it's what we've heard before, that he's not coming to destroy the Torah. He's like, when are you guys actually going to do the Torah, though? When are you actually going to do what is correct instead of just going to the temple and being a fake person? Right? You go in there, you do your praises, you walk away, and then you come out a heathen.
Yeah, and you could look at the Sunday Christian worshipers, right? Or the Mormons, or all these people. 90% of their life they lead very evilly and worldly, but yet for 1 hour on a Sunday they will get dressed up, cleaned up, and they will go and put on their little cologne and put on their stuff and go hang out. And everybody, we're all going to heaven, right? We're all going to go to heaven. We're all worshiping on the wrong day, but our Creator will forgive us for worshiping on the wrong day when He clearly says over and over and over and over that we need to worship on the seventh day. So this is the question on this thing, is when will men carry these things in their hearts and stop paying them lip service? Okay, 42. I say with certainty, so as long as earth and heaven above it remain, not even the smallest particle shall be deducted from the Torah until the purpose it serves has been completed. Wow. Whoa. Okay, I'll just finish this little piece here. Therefore, if anyone try to avoid even the least obligation imposed by the Torah, or to set aside the slightest of its restrictions, or teach others to do the same, he will be an insignificant thing in the life to come. But whoever lives by them, leading others to do likewise, will achieve the greatest heights of glory. Wow. So right here, heaven and earth, we talked about this. This is part of everything. And everyone's like, the Torah's gone. We can eat bacon because Jesus made all food clean. Yes, he did. And so the Torah is no more. Well, that's not what Messiah says anywhere. It doesn't say that anywhere in Scriptures. From Genesis to the end of Revelations, it doesn't say this. And it says very much clearly differently that even the smallest particle, not even, the smallest particle shall be deducted from the Torah until the purpose it serves has been completed. Has this purpose of the Torah been completed, boys?
No, not yet.
What is the purpose of the Torah?
It is obedience. It is for...
But what is the purpose? Why did Yah give us the Torah?
Guidance.
What was His purpose? Yeah, guidance, exactly. Yeah, guidance. It's exactly what it was, right? If we didn't have a Torah and we were told that we had to live under these, or we didn't even know what rules or laws we had to live under, that would be a problem. But we had a wonderful Creator, a beautiful Creator, who gave us a beautiful set of laws, statutes, and commandments, and He put it in every house, in every phone, in every world. Everybody has a chance that they can pick up a Bible. Everybody has heard about this, and everybody can choose what they want. So if you don't like the Torah, that's not a good thing. That's a really bad thing. Okay, 43. Do all charitable acts privately, not displaying your righteousness to catch the eyes of others. For by doing so, you void their benefits. Only those seeking public acclaim and hypocrites do these things ostentatiously. Never seek publicity for your deeds or goodness. Let it be forced on you. I assure you that those who do these things have their reward on earth, and nothing awaits them elsewhere. When setting out on an errand of goodness, keep your right hand in ignorance of the left hand's deeds. Do your good deeds in secret, knowing they are not overlooked and will be duly rewarded. But do them without thought of reward, or they will lose their merit. Do not be like the hypocrites, who pray in the sight of everyone. They are being rewarded now. Pray in solitude, for your Father can be contacted from anywhere and is everywhere. Never use needless repetition or ramble on in the mistaken belief that the more you say, the more likely you are to be heard. Do not be a mere babbler of words, for prayer is not formed by words alone. Remember, every need is known, so whatever is withheld may be for your own good. Prayer is contact between the Ruach and the Ruach, and should seek only to reinforce the strength of the Ruach. That tells us a tremendous amount of things about prayer that we had never ever had before. Anyone want to take a stab at this?
So he talks about, you heard before, it says don't like sit in Babylon and say over and over and over again to get praise of men, or just you think you're going to hurt more.
Yep.
He says everything is known. You don't need to repeat over and over and over.
Yep.
And then he says it's a spiritual thing. Prayer is a spiritual thing.
Yep. And it also we also know that the birds of the field need their stuff, and our Creator loves us more than the birds of the field. And so, yeah, our Creator doesn't need us to ramble on and on and on and on. And you know, a lot of people, you know, they don't know how to pray. And I guess I would say at some certain level, we always need help as well. Well, this particular part right here, it's very, very clear. It's not exactly how you're praying. It's that you're in solitude, and the fact that you are praying, and that your soul, your spirit is seeking our Creator, and that you're talking to Him. And so there's a lot of people don't, you know, again, they'll sit on their knees for days and days and days and repeat stuff over and over and over. And our Creator is astute. He doesn't need to hear things over and over and over, because he gets it, and he gets it before we even say it. 45. This is a pattern for prayer. Our Father in the Ruach, may your nature become known among men and your rule established on earth, according to the heavenly plan. May your design be completed. Give us the substance we need, and overlook our transgressions, as we overlook the transgressions of others. Do not test us too severely, and strengthen us against the servants of evil. So if people are looking for the way to pray, we have heard this before. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Something of that nature. I think I messed that up at the very bottom of that. But this is yet another template that if you guys are struggling with prayer, this isn't something that you would memorize and repeat over and over and over. It just gives you a beginning. Our Father in spirit, our Father in Ruach, you know, and that's how you're beginning. And right, guys, a prayer is as simply as focusing upon our Creator and talking and speaking and coming up with this, you know, a talk that you're going to have. And again, it's not about repeating things over and over and over. 46. If you overlook the failings of others and forgive people for the wrongs they have done to you, then the burden of your own will be alleviated. Also, when you fast or undertake an obligation, do not be like the hypocrites who lengthen their faces, going about it self-righteously, bringing themselves to the attention of others. All right, guys, this is more of these mirror talks, right? Yeah. As a quorum of brothers, and again, there's no bus right here, because I think we can discuss this, because I think everybody out there has either had a brother or sister and probably can relate to most of this. I'm the only person at this table that can't relate to it, because it's all new to me. Now, this is big. If you overlook the failings of others and forgive people for the wrongs they have done to you, then the burden of your own will be alleviated. What is that saying, guys?
You forgive and you'll be forgiven.
Yeah, and you got to overlook the failings, right? It's easy to grab a grudge. It is easy to have somebody and go, oh, I don't like this guy, or he said something, or this one time they offended me, or they said something, right? And you carry this burden around with you, right? The anger, that's the thing about hate, right? If you end up like, oh, I don't like this guy, those thoughts will get bigger, right? It is not what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to overlook the failings of others, regardless if they cut us to the bone, regardless if it hurts, regardless if our heart breaks, because most of the time people say things out of ignorance, right? They don't say things that they mean to. And a lot of times in life, I've been so offended at something somebody said, and I've carried it around for years and years and years. And when you go back and you think about it, and you actually talk about it, the people didn't know what they were saying. They didn't mean to say that. And you know, people say things they do not mean, and if we hold it against them forever, that's on us, right? And that is what our Creator says. Don't go to the Creator in prayer unless we have forgiven those that we are holding these grudges against, because that's not the way of the kingdom. 47. Hoard no earthly treasures which can be destroyed by moths and decay, or may be stolen by thieves. It is far better to establish a storehouse in the heavens, for there you can accumulate treasures beyond reach of these things. A man's heart is never far from the place he establishes his credit. Okay, what does it mean, guys? A man is never too far from the place he establishes credit. What does it mean if we establish credit?
build up a good reputation.
Yeah, you build up a thing. When you have a good credit, that means you have paid off your bills, or you have good credit. Could be with anything. People know who you are. They will give you credit for being good, or give you credit for being bad. Now, it's talking about hoarding no earthly treasures, which is what the world does, right? We accumulate, and even us, when we moved out of North America, coming down here, I mean, we pack all this, what can I say, crap that we have from everywhere. It's just where we're packing stuff here and here and here. And when we finally get here, we don't really need anything. We're just packing it, right? Stop accumulating junk that is going to be rusted out, that's going to be blown away, that's going to be robbed from you. Our treasures, our souls, have a spot to go in the Shamayim if we are those people. But if we're not, then we're going to be going to a different place. 48. Providing you view everything optimistically, maintaining a cheerful and confident outlook, you will radiate assurance. If you do not, you will shed despondency and gloom wherever you go. No man has ever succeeded in serving two masters, for his loyalties must lie with one or the other. Neither can a man have two prime objectives. He must aim for an earthly goal or a spiritual one. All right, so what is this saying here, Jade? Providing you view everything optimistically, maintaining a cheerful and confident outlook, you will radiate assurance.
Look at everything with a good attitude. Be happy about everything.
Yeah, and what's the opposite of this, right?
Being negative.
Yeah, and if you don't radiate assurance, you're going to radiate negativity, right? And it literally, it will spread like spread like a cold. It will go out, and if everybody is radiating despondency and evil, it will change. The whole place will change. 49. I advise you not to worry unduly about the future needs of the body, how it can be nourished and clothed. There is more to life than eating and comfort. While overdone, pleasure soon palls. Keep this one fact constantly in mind. The soul is of more importance than the body. Okay, right? Don't worry about clothes. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about anything. Worry about that the soul is your immediate need. We may take our last breath today. We may not make it out of this day. Not a single one of us are assured a day. Not a single one of us have a guarantee that we will make it through the day. And when the lights go out, that is the last shot that we absolutely have at protecting our soul. And if you leave it to the 5 seconds before the lights go out, and you're like, well, I'll be good on my deathbed, you will never know when that car will hit you. You'll never know when the ticker stops. You'll never know when you seize for the last time and you flip to the ground and you're done. It's game over. You never know. So use every single moment of every single second of every single day that you are able to protect your soul. And how do we protect our soul, gents?
Keeping the Torah. Keeping our faith in Messiah Yahushua.
Yeah, keeping these laws, keeping the laws of everything, right? Of our Messiah's laws, of his dad's laws, of all of these. 50. Think about the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap or gather in a harvest, yet provision has been made for their needs. Do you think any less consideration has been given to your welfare? Trust in the powers above, and when things go wrong, try to understand the reason. When you are being tried by tribulation, try and see the objective of the test. Ow! That's something most of us have no idea even how to do. We are in the middle of a storm. We are in the middle of tears. We're in the middle of everything rising up against us. There's no hope out. There's no way out. What are we supposed to do? We are supposed to look and try to find the objective of the test. Why are we being tested? Are we being tested because we are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, and we are told we'd be tested? Messiah says we're going to be tested, and we need to get through these tests. That's the thing. So when you're being tried by tribulation, try and see the objective of the test. 51. Is there anyone among you who, by thought alone, can add an arm's length to his height? Worry is a useless activity of the mind, so why worry about food and clothing? Look how the wildflowers grow in the meadows. They do not toil or spin. Yet Solomon, in full regala, was not attired so attractively as one of these. If such beauty is bestowed on wildflowers, which can display it for only a few days before being consumed, shall Yahuwah not give much more attention to you, his children, or have you no faith in anything? Gentlemen? Guys, is there anything on this?
We've heard a lot before about how Yahuwah will care about us more than the birds and the flowers because we are his children and they are flowers.
Yeah, I find it fascinating that Solomon was the dude that he was, and he isn't even as attractive as a little flower, right? I mean, he sat there and you know that dude with all his women and all his gold and all his stuff. He probably duded himself out like the best of the best, and at the end of the day, a flower of Yah is more beautiful than the best that we can ever try to make ourselves. 52. Therefore, worry less about material things and concentrate more on the spiritual, making the cause of Elohim your main concern. What is the cause of Elohim?
Cause of Elohim, that would be the Torah.
Yeah, but what is the cause? What is our Creator? What is his cause?
Be our Elohim.
And what is he attempting to do?
To bring his people home?
Yeah, he's trying to bring his people home. He's trying to bring his people to the people that will serve him. He is trying to isolate them, not isolate them, but he's trying to separate them, and I guess that would be isolation, away from the rest of the world, and put us in a special little thing that we are able to do. But the problem with that, I guess for us, is that we will be tested more, right? And so we have to understand that as we are in Torah, we are going to be tested hard. And if we are not tested hard, then we are not worthy of the kingdom to come. And so let's continue. 53. There's no reason why hypocrisy, the disease of the day, should come so naturally to men. But which of you is not contaminated by it? How many of you are self-deceivers, making excuses for these things? How is it you can readily detect the small faults in others while being absolutely blind to your own much greater ones? Whoa, this is bad news. How can you say to another, let me help you see more clearly, when you are practically blind yourself? You hypocrites and self-deceivers, first examine your own faults and failings before criticizing those of others. Again, I don't want to take the house bus ride, but here in the house, the brothers, this is the every brother seems to be taking splinters out of each other's eyes while there's like giant swinging 2x4s in the others. And that's, again, I don't have a lot of life's lessons on this other than when we fall into criticizing others or we're sitting there judging others, we're not walking a mile in their moccasins. We're not understanding them. We're not trying to love them. We're not doing any of that. And so we need to look in this mirror and we need to make sure we ourselves are complete in the eyes of Yah. And before we ever go in to try to fix others, and that's the thing. I don't know so much that we need to go fix others. We need to fix ourselves. 54. Never be afraid to voice your needs. And if you have a friend, turn to him whenever you require help. For this is the nature of friendship. Ask, and you will receive. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened. These things are the Torah of life. For at the end it will be said to you, as you sought, so have you found. And according to the manner of asking, have you received. It is not what you seek, but how you seek. Not what you request, but the manner of requesting. Is there any man among you who, if his son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or a snake if he asks for a fish? If then you, with all your mortal faults and ignorance, know how to give the right things to your children, how much more able is Yahuwah to give what is right for his? We've heard this before, right? These are not new things we're hearing, right? And again, folks, understand our Creator, everything around us is designed in such a way that is magnificent. From the sun coming up to the sun going down, to the moon, to the environment around us, to the animals, to humans, we are perfectly designed. It is very, very, very well thought out, right? Everything is thought out. It's why our noses don't sit on our left butt cheek, right? It is why we don't have our fingers on the side of our toes and that we have to lift our foot up and try to wash our dishes with our feet on one foot, right? Everything around us is absolutely perfect. When you close your eyes, right, you have an eyelid to keep the dust and stuff out. You have eyelashes, you have eyebrows, every single thing that we have. We can handle a gust of wind and dust and things of that nature. Our Creator has figured this out. It's all perfect, right? So if you think that your struggles are something new to our Creator or that he does not care or does not even know, Please understand, he knows everything, and he knows your needs. And when you establish this line of communication with him, when you are his children, he is going to be there working for you. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. 56. The things you surely do not need are comfort and content, while assurance and security open the gates to spiritual apathy. There you go. So anytime that you get comfortable and you get content, it leads open the gates to spiritual apathy. Enter by the narrow, unpretentious gate, for the road leading to the dark abyss has a wide road and attractive entrance, while the gate leading to immortality is austere, and the road fraught with difficulties. Guys, we've heard this before. We've heard all this before, right? We know about this little gate. Yep. We know about that there's a wide path that leads to destruction. We know that most do not find this little gate. Most do not find it. It's very, very important that we find this little gate. And this little gate is Messiah, and it is the Torah. And that road is very easy to fall off of. We need to be very, very careful we don't do that. 57. Beware of false prophets and those who would mislead you. For many seeking to promote their own ends walk the ways of righteousness, clothed in sheepskins, but are hypocrites, being ravening wolves within. Those who indicate an easy path are false guides, and those who say another can absolve them from their effects of their misdeeds expound in error. Wow. Okay, this reminds you right here of the Catholic Church, right? The entire Catholic Church. Your goal, or not your goal, but what you can do is, if you are in the satanic religion of Catholicism, you can have, well, you can't, but they believe that they can have their sins absolved by a little man sitting in a little box. So you have this priest who is more than likely probably, well, in the Catholic Church, I hate to say it, probably a pedophile. I mean, that is just the way of the Catholic Church. So you have the guy in a little thing that's probably a pedophile that you're telling your sins to, and he's like, well, don't go do 7 Hail Marys and don't commit the sins anymore, and you're absolved, right? No man could ever do that, right? That is not something you can do. And when you look at beware of false prophets, those who mislead you, I know how the scriptures aren't false prophets, but they are false people. And they are, what they're doing is they're seeking to promote their own ends and walk the ways of righteousness as they are clothed in sheepskin, but are hypocrites, being ravaging wolves within. That is the example, and that is the exact definition of the Holy Scriptures. 58. You will know them by the effects of their teachings, just as a good tree is recognized through the fruit it bears. Can the wild thorn produce grapes, or are figs found growing on thistles? If a tree fails to produce good fruit, it is cut down and burned, for it can serve no better purpose. Therefore I say, judge men by the fruits of their labors. And that is absolutely true. That is how we are to be judged, by the fruits of our labors. 59. Some hail me as their leader, thinking this will help them in the life to come. But it will not. This is a huge Christian problem. Because the Christians believe that they're following the Messiah as they eat their pork. Only those who wholeheartedly serve the cause and purpose of Yahuwah will enjoy this in full glory. Many who do things in my name will expect me to intercede for them. But to these I will say, I did not know you, or authorize the statement you made. By your deeds you shall be judged. Oh, man. This is Matthew 7.
What statements do you think they made?
Whatever it was. Jesus says, whatever it is. These people, the Christians are all about, Jesus said. We'll even have people that will pray over their pork. They will pray over their pork and make it clean. Like, anything we pray over, we can do. Oh, honey, yeah, just pray over that dirty swine, and those bacteria won't kill me anymore. Yeah, right. Okay. Very, very, very important stuff, guys. Messiah clearly says, again, I did not know you, or authorize the statement you made. By your deeds you shall be judged. 60. This does not apply to those who, hearing my words, put them into practice, for they are like the sensible man who built his house on a foundation of a rock. The rain poured down and the floods rose, the wind howled above and beat against the house, but it did not collapse because it was set firmly. So those who do the will of our Creator are set firmly. Those who do not, your house will collapse. 61. But there will be many who, hearing these words of mine, will ignore them. And these may be likened to a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain poured down, the floods rose, the wind howled and beat against the walls, and the whole house collapsed. I herald the coming of the rule of Elohim in a reborn world. I accept those who follow my way, and I will lead them into their kingdom. I will lead them into their kingdom. I reject all those who are against my way. 63. I call upon men of good will to follow us, men who wholeheartedly desire the light and oppose the way of darkness. But the road may be long and beset by many foes. Yet have no fear of those who come with swords and fiery words. Their danger is apparent. Those will be our undoing. Those who will be our undoing are the hypocrites and self-deceivers who pay lip service only and manipulate the words of the Torah to accord with their convenience. I tell you this, many will come, but few will be selected. Again, people don't get this. Clearly, most people aren't taken. You have 3 billion people that claim they're Christians, right? 3 billion people. That doesn't sound like few people to me. That sounds like a lot. So the majority of these people will not make it. 64. Moshe viewed the promised land only from Pisgah. Let this not be your fate. Face the difficulties ahead. Overcome the evildoers who maintain the rule of evil and claim your reward. The sword is drawn, but the battle has yet to be won. Okay.
Who says make it to the promised land? Don't be the one that views it from the outside and dies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't be, and that's the thing. We have the laws of Moshe. We have the stories of Moshe. We have the stories of the Israelites. Jade, you've been doing a tremendous amount of scribing on this. How many books has Jade put in? A ton. Regardless, you've been popping in showing that have the Israelites ever made it out, or they? I mean, have
I don't know. I feel like everybody's in captivity. I feel like they just don't make it. Like the Torah, they just complained and died every other chapter.
Over and over and over and over. It's clear. Why did they get Jade? Why did they get tossed into captivity?
Because they didn't keep the Torah.
Yeah, they didn't keep the Torah. That's the same conflict we have today. Why are we coming out of captivity? Why do we have another chance at now being free? Why do we have a chance of the second Exodus? Because the time has come. So it's time to get into this. 65. In the reborn world, the wolf shall lay down with the lamb, and the lion with the kid, and a little child shall play with them. Surely because of their goodness and goodwill, even the evil beasts will submit themselves to the will of those who participate in the rule of Elohim. This is amazing, right? This is the world to come, right? Where the child and the wolf and everybody will lay down and hang out, right? Where the animals no longer want to tear the humans apart. 66. When Yahushua finished speaking, the great assembly of people was silent. For unlike other teachers, he appeared inspired by divine authority. But within moments, they were excitedly discussing the words among themselves. Then a disciple who stood beside Yahushua shouted, "All who serve Yahuwah, praise him, for he has sent the true enlightener and the deliverer, and he will himself reign over us through the Ruach, which fills his son. Heed these things. Follow the way of Yahushua. Take up the cross of life, and the rule of Elohim is at hand." There were many among the crowd who said, "Surely this is Yahuwah's anointed, for whom we have long awaited. Now we will be delivered according to the promises of the prophets." Hearing these things said by the people among themselves, Yahushua was saddened and said to Bartholomew, who stood near him, "Tomorrow they will revert to their own ways of life and permit evil to reign through hypocrites and self-deceivers. How can they be brought to understand that should Yahuwah intervene to bring about the rule of Elohim, earth and mankind will have failed him and be unworthy of his rule? Life's purpose is to produce shepherds, not sheep. But the lives of the people are turned inwards upon themselves. Wow. Guys, that's a lot to take in.
The verse starts with Yehoshua like, these people tomorrow they'll be back to where they were. They won't listen to any of my words. They're not going to make the kingdom. They're not worthy because they refuse to follow Torah and change their ways. And then towards the end of the verse, it says people were meant to be shepherds. They're meant to be teachers more than they were the followers. They were meant to go teach the world, not follow the world. Yeah, we're meant to start out as sheep until we find that shepherd. And once we find the shepherd, we're to adapt our lives to how the shepherd lives. And this is amazing stuff. 70. It was now late in the day,
but many people still lingered. And his disciples said to Yahushua, Master, the crowd was very large, and many did not hear all your words. Could you not speak to these? For though hungry, they would rather listen to you. Yahushua said, My throat aches, but I have bread more satisfying than that which fills the stomach, and meat more satisfying than worldly meat. My supply is inexhaustible. I have multiplied this through you. So now you go among the people and provide what they need. All right. Wow, that's a lot to take in, gentlemen. You don't have to read very much out of these books to come away with something amazing. And, one of the things that, people end up with is they get really on fire, right? You will see these revivals and you'll see people and all of a sudden, they will go to revival and they think that they have the Holy Spirit or the Ruach HaKodesh. And they change their ways, and this is where you have all the Christian and the altar calls, right? You get these people, and they're like, "Oh, I'm on fire," and they all come down the altar. They get on their knees, and then the next day or the next night, they go home and they jump on the computer, jump into pornography, jump into some kind of evil. They don't take care of their family. They don't protect them. So it's just a facade, right? It's an emotional burst, and then it is gone, and there's nothing left. And it is those emotional bursts that if people get, if they continue on with them, you will find that path to the kingdom. But you will not find that path to the kingdom without the Torah, and you will not find it without our Messiah. So guys, anyone else have anything?
Read your Bibles. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
It's preparation tomorrow, so we'll be talking about that. So see you guys, and have a great day.
Much love, everyone.
All right, Shalom.